Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Good evening, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome back to another Monday night live show. You've got me and you've got man like Matt Drifty will be joining us shortly. Matt, how are you doing, bro?
Bro, every time you ask me how I'm doing, I feel like, should I lie?
We all take a sigh, innit?
It's just not a good feeling right now. It really isn't. But at the same time, I was thinking about it last night, Cal, yeah? And I said to myself, we're in the worst situation we've been in for years. Everyone's hurt. Everyone's confused. People are not too sure whether they should be FSG out, FSG in. Some people aren't sure about Klopp anymore. And I said to myself, listen, guys, as a fan base, we're one of the most loyal fan bases there are, if not the most loyal in world football, yeah? We've just got about Jurgen Klopp, you know, because I'll be real, people. I'm not trying to say he should be necessarily like given a pass for what's happened, so to speak, because not everything's been his fault, but some things he could have done better. But let's just remember this, though. He's the one that brought us back to those glory days. He's the one where we could talk to other fans and say, look who's top of the league. Look who's got Mo Salah. Look who's got Van Dijk. Look who's got Mane. He's the one that brought back the style of play that made us excited again. He's the one that got us these trophies. So, in my opinion, people, I'm not trying to say, you know, Klopp is the perfect manager. He doesn't make mistakes. But I'm just saying, people, right now, we got to back him. And I think under this model, under FSG, in my opinion, I still think he is the guy to take us forward. My only concern is, do FSG still feel like that? Do they still feel like he's the guy? And more importantly, are they going to let him have the funds to go and progress this team? Because you can see that we need some new impetus, we need some new players, and maybe even some new ideas as well, Cal. So I'm saying like this, people, just back Jurgen, innit? Like, obviously, things start to get worse and worse and worse, and we'll have that conversation. But I thought about it hard last night, people, and I just said, listen, we got to back this man, you know. We'll talk, because we've got a gem on our hands, and sometimes the grass isn't always green on the other side, because we could go and get like a Nagelsmann or whoever, and what we find out is that, yes, the results may pick up slightly, but then after a while, the same thing happens because we're under the same regime and that manager is having issues alongside FSG in terms of the players that he wants to bring in. Let's be real. Klopp has brought in all the players that he's needed to bring in, and every single player he's brought in, he's brought them up a level. Every single one of them. Whether you like them or not, whether you don't like Divock Origi, whether you don't like Oxlade-Chamberlain, whether you don't like Naby, Firmino, he's brought them all to a level. It's just that we got so used to that level, when they've dropped down, we're having a panic attack. So let's just back it.
And guys, that ends the show because there's not much more I can say better than Matthew. So guys, until next time. Matt, I'll be honest, bro, you've summed everything up fantastically. And again, I think we're allowed to be annoyed and angry with Klopp. I think we are. We're justified, especially with how results have gone. But as I keep on saying, while I'll entertain people say Klopp out because of the results, I will never back people at this stage saying Klopp needs to go. And you just have to look at the cards he's been dealt. You have to.
Yeah.
It's not the man's fault. Like, it's not his fault where we ain't got people above him who can say, yeah, this is what you need, then go get it. And let's be honest, within our model, there isn't a better man. Let's not forget, when we appointed Klopp, it was between Klopp and Ancelotti who came in to be our manager. Ancelotti made it very clear, said, if I'm coming to this job, I want to get a new spine for the team, and I want that ASAP. That's why FSG went with Klopp. Because Klopp didn't demand that. Klopp said, I will get the best out of these players and I will build the team up. Ancelotti wanted results straight away. And I have nothing but respect for Ancelotti. But Klopp gave these guys a chance Now it's time for these guys to give Klopp a chance to sustain success, in my opinion. So the buck falls with them now. Flintoff, in Jurgen we trust, the man loves the club. That as well, like, I'm not being funny. I ain't seen a manager in my lifetime, apart from Kenny, who loves this club like Klopp does. I remember Kenny played for the club, he lived in Liverpool for years, etc. Klopp's come over from a different country, different culture, and look what he's done for the people in Liverpool. Look, like, I remember after the Champions League final, this guy was out and started randomly singing with Liverpool fans and was like, I promise you, like, it's going to be all right. We're going to sort this. Like, what other man does that?
It's true.
What other man does that?
It's true, bro.
Like, I don't see other man. I don't see Mourinho doing stuff like that. I don't see Pep doing stuff like that. Klopp's out and says, you know what, I'm going to join these lot. We're going to sing. Didn't get the result we wanted, but you know what? We're still all together in this. I'm going to make sure I put smiles on these guys' faces. Delivered us the Champions League against all the odds. Premier League against all the odds. Can't turn our back on him now. Can't. We can be annoyed. We can be annoyed. We can be upset. But we can't turn our back on this man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't do it.
Never can I.
Jason Green, I'm saving for a new kitchen, but Matt was spot on and had something to. Matt was spot on and had to give you something. Trust Klopp. Don't be a goldfish. I don't know if I fully get that one.
I think I know where he's going. I think he's basically just trying to say, I made a valid point and look at the bigger picture. That's what I took from that in terms of look around you, innit? Maybe I got it wrong, but that's what I took from it anyway.
Sean Swain, so felt down, so got the wife to do the Bielsa squat. Sean back on the Bielsa squats. You got a good one there. Kadir Hussein, big up Kadir Hussein as always. I love Klopp, just hope FSG back him for once, indeed. Khalil, if we let Wilson, Grujic, Origi, Taki, Shaq, Matip, Ox, Sepp, Ojo, Karius, Genie, Nat, Adrian Grabara, then we get 666,000 off the wage bill. It's crazy numbers.
That's mad.
But again, it's easier said than done to get these players sold, as we saw last summer. Agopa, without Klopp, FSG would have been long gone. See, here's the thing. I don't think they would have been long gone. I don't think they would have sold up by now. But I don't think we would have had the success that we've got. And I think there'll be a lot more of the fan base who would be a little bit more unsettled.
Definitely. I think it's hard to say whether if Klopp wasn't there, they might have sold up. I just think we might have been in that mediocrity that we were in when Brendan left. And it was a case of, would that manager have done what Klopp done? If he didn't, would FSG have just gone, well, it's not working, we'll sell? No. But maybe they might have been under more pressure, though. I will say that, because if they're not delivering results, then, and the fans turn on you, they're going to look at it and think, well, is this business model in our best interest? Are we even making the money that we thought we would make in the first place if we're not winning? Because here's the thing. Even though we criticize FSG, one thing I will say is that because they are shrewd businessmen, they need to know that their asset is at its highest. And right now, their asset is not at its highest. So as a businessman, it would make sense to make sure your asset is at its highest. And that means backing Klopp. Because if Klopp then rejuvenates a squad and can start picking up trophies, FSG are happy again. So it's like, it's one of them things where it's like, at some point, FSG will have to pull their finger out, and I'm hoping it'll be this summer, because you can see the desperation that we are clearly in. So let's hope that they do that. And if they do that, in a weird way, it's almost a shame that it's had to come to this for them to go, okay, we've now got a really back Klopp. You know what I mean? Because it shouldn't have even got to this. But if it is, then fair play.
Indeed. Drifty is coming on. Drifty will be joining us soon. Paul Squire, I think we have been overachievers. Premier League net spend for the last 5 years, we are 14th. We are being outspent by 13 teams. Say no more.
Do you know what, Cal? Just quickly, I don't think we've been overachievers. I just think we've got one of the best. Well, in terms of financial, yes, but at the same time, Cal, I look at it and think we've got one of the best managers in the world, if not the best. And because of his coaching methods, that's how great we are. So even though, yes,
no, I hear that. It's like if we were doing Formula One, you may have the best driver, but if you don't have the best car to go along with it, you are kind of overachieving still. Let's say, for example, you have the fifth best car. If you've got the fifth best car in the race and you win, you're overachieving.
No, you're right.
If you are the best driver.
That is spot on. Because I'm just thinking now when Fernando Alonso, one of my favorite all-time drivers, along with like Schumacher, obviously Hamilton as well, but with Alonso, he was in a Ferrari for quite a while, and he was up against, unfortunately, a Red Bull team. Now, this Red Bull team is like the equivalent of Man City in a sense of they were just so good, bro. Like, no matter what Alonso did, he was driving the wheels off his Ferrari, but he just couldn't get past. He just couldn't get past Seb Vettel, because then Red Bull man were just clear in it at that time. Then obviously like Mercedes came along, but no, Cal, that is spot on, 100%.
Elliot, we should judge Klopp next season with a full squad. See, even that one, it's a difficult one because even though the players may be back next season, there's no guarantees Van Dijk, Gomez, and all these players are going to come back the same. Like, they've had terrible injuries. We are going to get onto that. 2Pixel2. The only backing FSG need to do is backing their asses out of the club. Are you man seriously going to believe we expanded the summer? 2Pixel2, that's smoke. Look, there's so many different conflicting rumours and things going around the club. You just never know what's going to happen. LFC Aaron, we also have to remember what Klopp has gone through in the last couple of months. He's one of us. Facts.
Facts, bro.
Absolute facts. Adam, we need a total rejig in the summer, not only with transfers, but there needs to be a different approach in how we play, tactics for more formation, etc. Very true. Very true. Good evening, John, to yourself as well. Welcome to the show, bro. Sean Swain, FSG are even buying Aldi biscuits. No more McVitie's. I'll be honest, Aldi biscuits are kind of nice, you know.
They are, you know. Just got to find the right ones.
They are nice.
Find the right ones.
BC says it took Klopp 4 years to eradicate 30 years of hurt and close calls. I think as fans, we should back him for. I think we should back him for a couple of months to turn it around. Agree. All right. So, first topic of the evening, Matt. I'm going to read out a quote from Chris Bascom, and this is probably going to set some people off. I wasn't over the moon when I read it, but here goes. Jurgen Klopp has the full backing of Liverpool's American owners to lead the club's revival from their wretched form, regardless of the Merseysiders' catastrophic title defence. Although the pandemic has impacted on finances, the anticipated return to normality means Klopp will have money to spend this summer, albeit he will work within similar resources as part of the self-sustaining financial model he's been accustomed to. Now, I think there's two parts we need to break down in that. First and foremost, FSG saying they back Klopp. I think that kind of goes without saying. I'd be pretty shocked if FSG said they were going to get rid of Klopp.
Same.
But the second part of that statement is he will have money, but it will be based on the model that he's been accustomed to. Now, we all know what that model is, right? It's not Naomi Campbell. It's not Naomi Campbell. It's not Kate Moss. It's sell to buy. That's the model. The model that has helped to get us where we are, but is it going to keep us there? And I'll be honest, reading that kind of annoys me more than anything else, because that says to me we're going to have to try and do a madness again in the summer to try and turn this around. And I don't think we're in a position to. And this is how I'd liken it. So let's say, for example, we all bought a house that was fully furnished. And let's say we didn't have much money to furnish it, but we had stuff in the house that we could sell and turn around, flip, and then bring in something else. So let's say we had a nice TV, but we wanted a different TV. And we knew, you know, we could sell that TV for 100 and get a new TV in for 110. That's cool, isn't it? But let's say we had a sofa and we're like, oh, we don't really like this sofa. We can get 200 for this sofa and get another sofa for that we actually like, but it's slightly cheaper at 180. all that's cool. That's fine, because you know what? You're replacing the stuff you don't actually need or want with the stuff that you do want or need. But you know what happens? You get to a point where you've sold everything in your house. You've replaced the stuff you sold. What happens when you actually need a fridge freezer, but you haven't got a fridge freezer to sell? You have to go out and spend your own money to make that happen. And if they're turning around and saying, you know what? Yeah, we're going to have to still work on the same model. That to me says we're selling one of our big boys, or potentially more than one, and we're selling other players and don't expect us to be getting what we exactly need, and potentially coming out of the summer window short again, because Klopp will have to prioritize between different things. So before I come to you, Matt and Drift, M to the O says best, not favorite UFC fight you've ever watched. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that one. Juicy question. You know? Ooh,
that's a loaded question, Carl.
That is old. That's a juicy question. That's T-bone steak stuff right there.
That is.
Khalil Hassan, 15 mil for Origi, Wilson, Shaq, Taki, Gruich, 10 for Ox Matip, 7.5 for Ojo, Awanini, 3 mil, Grabara, 2.5, Karius, Sepp, 118 mil. This is the lowest price for these players, in my opinion. I disagree. We won't get 7.5 for Ojo. I don't even know if we'll get 2.5 for Karius. 3 for Grabara, I don't think we'll get either. The rest of them, you might be right.
I agree. Evening all.
Yeah, so guys, your thoughts on what I've just read from Chris Bascom?
I didn't fully hear the, because I'll literally. Yeah, you got to read it again for me.
I'll quickly read the super chat and I'll do it again. So Asama says, Drift, I disagree with you and I like Klopp, but if he loves the club, he should quit and say FSG are the reason.
Yeah, but then that's cutting off his nose to spite his face, though, bro, if he does that.
But you know what? I get why that's been suggested, but I think looking at the bigger picture, that wouldn't be him helping the club.
Yeah.
A-Spec Limited, this means Salah out. Guys, do you think we could get Grealish and Neto for the Salah price? Going to speak about those two players. I've got those on the list to speak about, so we'll come back to that, A-Spec. All right, so I'll read out the full quote for you, Drift.
Got you.
From Chris Bascom. Jurgen Klopp has a full backing of Liverpool's American owners to lead the club's revival from their wretched form, regardless of the Merseysiders' catastrophic title defence. Although the pandemic has impacted on the finances, the anticipated return to normality means Klopp will have money to spend in this summer, albeit he will work with the similar resources as part of the self-sustaining financial model he's been accustomed to.
So he could have just summed that up in one sentence. Things will remain as they are. Pipe down and deal with it. Why didn't he just say that and keep it real, man? What did he say? Here's what's mad, yeah? I was thinking about this all day today. You know, everything I'm going to say, we've already spoken about and everybody knows. But you know when you really try and deep something and you go, no, hang on a minute. Hold on, did that really happen? You know, you get that moment. Hear this, check this. Van Dijk and Gomez got injured in October. Season enders from the jump. We didn't even get beaten around the bush. They just knew they couldn't even lie. Bang.
Yeah. Season
ending injuries. Them two man won't be there. We only had 3 men, remember, who were senior players in our team. So we had to bring in a youth. He's only 19. Very inexperienced and not even that good. Like if he was a wonder kid youth, you'd be a little bit more accepting of it. Like if he was like Curtis Jones, but a centre back, you'd be a little bit more accepting of it. Do you get what I'm saying? But it would still be a stupid decision, but you'd be a little bit thingy. And a very, very inexperienced 22, 23-year-old in Phillips. Very inexperienced. He's had half of a season of first team football and the rest of the time just reserve football for Liverpool. Very inexperienced. So even if he's good, he don't know how to deal with adversity. He doesn't know how to deal with pressure. Definitely high-end Premier League type level pressure anyway.
Yeah.
Or even had a relegation battle to know what like real pressure feels like. Do you know, he doesn't really know what real pressure is like. And Matip, who on his day, world-class centre-back, but you're lucky if you get 20 games in all comps out of him in the season. You're lucky if you get 20 games in all comps out of him as a season. And they'd already had 2 long injuries up to that point as well. We missed 2 months in separate occasions up to that point anyway. Yeah, so he weren't even like in the flow of the season or anything. And these mofos, if he hadn't got injured on the 28th of January, were going to leave Klopp with Reece, Nat, and Matip, who could drop at any moment to try and retain a title and go in the Champions League. I thought to myself, hey, hang on a minute.
Sorry, it's the clapping of the hands is killing me, bro. I'm just thinking of Jerry Springer, bro. So you thought you could go out and sleep with another man and it would be okay, yeah?
It's like, Bob, I've got to turn into like an American black woman and just be like, so you won't tell me that you think that this is acceptable. Like, I've got to turn into that, bro, because it's just real, bro. So he was going to have to go through half of a season with Reece, Phillips, and Matip, who breaks down at any moment. Now, I'm sorry, there is absolutely no way you can include Henderson and Fabinho in there, but they made Klopp have to. That's the joke. They made him have to. But you shouldn't have to put those 2 players in that equation. But even if you do put them in that equation, they played in that position enough times for the board to understand what Klopp's saying and the fans are saying and everyone else is saying when they go, guys, this is mashing up the team. This isn't just about them playing there, you lot. This is mashing up everything. This is making the whole team disrupted. Can I have some centre backs, please? Like, honestly, like, and they're like, nope, you're fine. And only peer pressure, just like when we walked out in the 70th minute when they tried to put the tickets up to £77, just like when we went mad when they furloughed people that they could have paid out their own pocket. It was so small in comparison to what the club actually made.
That's apparently why the physio team were let go or left as well.
Yep, there you go. Another thing, and brought in somebody who you clearly hadn't done your research on, because for 10 years, he was a part of the worst physio department in top flight football. Arsenal fans will tell you we never keep a player fit long enough to even know how good he can be because their medical department was so poor. And we go and take the bread that did that for 10 years to replace the people who kept every one of our star players fully fit, ready and firing for 3-4 seasons on the bounce. Nah, hold on a minute. What is actually going on here? What I really deeped it over the last 24 hours because I just had to find, like, I'm a very logical person, as you lot know, and I need things to make sense. You can't tell me 2 + 2 = 8 and then give me £100 and say, shut up, trust me, it's real, and think I'm just going to go away and believe you because you gave me money. No, my logical brain goes, this shit don't make no sense. Have your money back because I'm going to have sleepless nights trying to figure out how the fuck you made 2 + 2 = 8 because my brain won't work like that. So I'm sitting here now and I'm like, I can't live with this until I figure this shit out. And you know what? We've got to figure this out, guys, because it cannot even just be being tight anymore. This is negligence on another level. This is actually like knowing that the lock on your door is broken and you literally say to yourself, as long as we wedge it, let's try and get through the winter. No one will break in. No one knows. Let's just wedge it and let's just hope. Fully broke, you know, fully broken. There's a crack in the glass and the lock is bust. You can just push the door open whenever you want. Like one of those sitcoms where I always wonder, how did that brother just walk in the yard when he don't have a key? Like, honestly, how did he just get in when he ain't got a key? And you never thought that when you're watching them shows like Friends,
innit? Yeah.
All of them, any show, Big Bang Theory, any American show you can think of, when them man they just walk through the door and you're like, hold on, how did you just get in? You ain't even.
They don't lock their doors.
Because them man they don't lock their door, blood. What's this? This is like up north, County Durham settings, like 1977, where no one knew that rapists and murderers were in their own ends, so they would just leave their back door open. Like madness, bro. Like it's negligence on that level. And we've got to sit here and we've got to deal with it. Nah, sorry. There's got to be a way as fans we can get these owners to understand that this ain't on. There has to be a way for them to understand that this ain't on. And the sad thing about it is, I'm kind of under the impression, from what I can gather, the success that Klopp brought to the club in the last 3 years is always going to be their excuse for why this is sustainable or why this is something that does work. So have patience, hold tight, and good times will be back. I genuinely believe that's what they're going to tell us. Because I watched that guy with the Champions League trophy on the plane, sitting there proud, which at the time he should have been proud. Don't get me wrong. He's the owner of the club that just won the European Cup. Be proud. But they spoke to him and they said, what's going to happen for next season? And he said, Klopp has proved himself. This man can have whatever he wants. We are here. And if he tells us he needs something, we'll give it to him. So what, you're trying to tell me that he said all he needed was Sepp and Adrian? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that all Klopp told him he needed, yeah? Sepp and Adrian. Yes, Henry. Bravo, son. Bravo. Bravo. The man didn't even say in an article, you lot. We didn't even read it from a journalist where, like, he could say I was misquoted, or I watched the brother look me in my eye through the camera and said, Jurgen Klopp can have whatever he wants. Look what this man's done to the club. We're on to bigger and better things. We didn't win the Premier League this year. You know what we'll do? We'll put down whatever he needs to put an assault on it next year. Right. Now, don't get me wrong, we did win it, but that's only because of the genius of Klopp. That's got fuck all to do with what FSG did to help.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. They gave him Sepp and Adrian. You didn't even need to scout Sepp. That was just a Bebe thing. Somebody gassed him and we just fell for it. And Adrian, them man, I don't know who saw him walking their dog in the park, but maybe Adrian was there in the park chilling with the Arsenal physio, and we were just like, all right, we could save some wages on the two of these, man, innit? All right, let's just get both of you. Hashtag part life. Like, I'm sorry, this shit ain't on, man. This shit is not on.
Matt, anything you want to add?
Bro, I'll be real. Like, when I saw a little bit of the article, the first thing that came to my mind was, here we go again, innit? It's the same thing. The excuse is already there. Like, the model. When they start using terms like, words like, or phrases, the model, yeah? And obviously, we already know because of the pandemic, things are going to be kind of tight anyway. But I also read something in the article where it talked about, FSG believe that obviously this year's been an anomaly. So therefore, like, they don't feel like they need to like rejuvenate overhaul the whole squad. There's just going to be tweaks. But this is the bit that I'm baffled about, and maybe it's kind of obvious because they asked Jurgen Klopp as well, like, do you feel like you need to like, revolutionize the squad? And he was like, no, I just need a couple of tweaks. Now his couple of tweaks could mean 4 players, 5 players of high quality. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Which is to be valid. Or his tweaks could be 2 players. But if I'm being real, I don't believe that. I kind of feel like Jurgen already knows what he's going to get coming next season. I kind of feel like he's frustrated. I feel like we won't know the truth until one day when maybe he writes a book or he has an open interview. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Because he's not that type of... Yeah, because he's not, for me, he's not that type of manager. He's not like a Mourinho who will just come out and say things, or maybe, and dare I say it, when Poch even got frustrated that time at Spurs, when they said to him, he's like, I'm not the manager, I'm the coach. Daniel Levy buys the
Am I right in saying Pep's even called out their owners once?
I'm not sure.
But I think he was moaning about...
I wouldn't say he was moaning, but I think he called them out on something or said he wanted something but couldn't get it. Or
yeah, but again... I mean, that's just been a spoil brat, innit? Klopp won't even do that, though. Klopp will never say...
I mean, we say that, but Klopp has come out and he's
Actually,
very
tongue-in-cheek.
He won't do it in a raggo way, Cal.
He'll do tongue-in-cheek. He'll say things like, we've got money, but we haven't got real money and we've got bills to pay. Remember when he kept on saying, we've got money, but we don't have real money? Yeah? That's his way of saying
Matt, you know what? Yeah, I even think that he was talking subliminally to FSG when he said, I want everybody to just remember, we are still Liverpool. Like, I know he's talking to us and asking us to not be annoyed, But I'm almost feeling like it's a little thing to the owners as well of like, you just remember who you're in charge of. This is happening on your watch. Do you get what I'm saying? Like this is happening on your watch.
Yeah.
You get me? So.
Yeah. No, I think, listen, I'll be real. It's not looking good, if you ask me. If you're going by that, if we're going to take, the media, not as gospel, but as to where our club stands, then we should all be worried. But one thing I will say, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, even though the media are briefed and they are they have obviously their own inkling, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gospel. That's not me saying FSG aren't going to do what they've just said. I'm just saying it's not necessarily gospel, because let's be real, people. Every UK journalist, bar maybe one or two, shout out a couple of men that knew the story about Thiago. A lot of people were shutting it down fully, like just fully. It was not happening whatsoever. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's where I will say, excuse me, it would even be a bit crazy for Liverpool to even say now, we've got a war chest and we're going to just go and buy everyone. Because then people are just going to say, well, if you got this war chest, well, you want this player? Well, you can give me some of that war chest money. So and so I'm playing devil's advocate, people. I'm not saying what you're saying ain't right, but let's not treat it as gospel. Because what I will say is, things happen in football, things can change. Do I believe in FSG in terms of what if they're really going to go and spend? No. But what I am willing to do, though, is not give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to wait and see what happens. Can they surprise us? Let's just put it like this, people. Can FSG surprise us and change their minds how we think about them? Because right now, they're in the doghouse, innit? And right now, I don't think they're... Yeah.
That was actually going to be my next question. Let's say, for example... shout out to Marcus Fleming, who just become a member of ours. So, guys, if you want to become a member, you get behind the scenes and exclusive videos. Click the link in the description. Let's say, for example, Matt, they went out and they gave Klopp a budget of, let's say, 180 million in the summer, and player sales on top of that.
180.
Yeah, because I think that's the minimum we need in the summer. 180 plus player sales. Let's say FSG did that, and again, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and ask questions.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If they did that, would you be back on board with them?
I wouldn't necessarily be fully back on board with them. I think for me, it would give them more time, because you know what? It's like going back to the season where we won the Champions League. The season where we bought Keita, Shaqiri, Fabinho, Alisson. See that thing there? That kind of made me fall in the trap of, oh my days, like FSG kind of do care about, man. Like they care about us, innit? Like to a degree.
I hate to sound like an idiot, but that money was because of sales. Like
yeah, I know. But if you take out the Coutinho money, which brought Alisson and Van Dijk, they still had to buy Fabinho, Shaqiri, and Naby, and player sales were part of that. They were, but at least they weren't like some other clubs where they're like, what you rate in 100 and something mil? Yeah, we'll take about 75 of that. We'll just give you whatever's left. So that's one thing I give them. When I say not credit, but it's a mad one. I'll just say maybe I was blindsided by the fact of not looking at the deep of it. I'm looking at it just like on the surface level. We've got players in. I don't care how you got them in. We just needed them. Whereas what's happened is, though, Cal, is because things have unraveled, you're starting to see what's actually happened, even though you kind of knew before. Now, I'll say it again. I don't trust FSG, bro. Like, I really don't. Because as you said, let's say they give us 180 and they say to Klopp, yeah, we'll give you the player sales on top of that, yeah? That could be just one summer, and then we might have to wait again another 5 summers.
That's my thing. It's like they put themselves in such a position now that one summer's not going to make it up for me.
No, it's not.
I need to see it sustain now.
Oh, this is what I'm saying. It made me feel better. And
yeah, you're papering over the cracks from
what
cracks you've created. Yeah. And for me, that's where they kind of split fan bases. And again, that's probably one of the worst things they've done. They split the fan base. That's probably the most alarming thing, that you've got people who are FSG in, like, even making names for FSG and FSG out. they've done that. Like no one else has done that. And again, remember one of the first shows we did as a group with Kopish was after we won the Champions League and we sat down and we hashed out what FSG have done and stuff like that. And again, I remember we got a hell of a lot of backlash from it, and people were like, how are they questioning the owners who just won the Champions League? But now I'm seeing these same journalists who were criticizing fans for saying that, writing articles about it, saying, oh, they should have spent after the Champions League. Like, why is it taking this long for people to realize that?
Because things get papered over, Cal. So when we won the Champions League, everyone was like, see, Liverpool didn't need to go and buy 50 million players. And then when we won the Premier League, it was even worse in the sense of we won the Premier League and we didn't do nothing. We didn't buy nobody. Let's be real. We didn't buy nothing. We didn't buy anything. So all those
that's probably the best. It's the best and worst thing that's happened to us as a club.
So all those journalists that were there saying, see, certain fans are fickle, don't know what they're talking about. These fans are ungrateful. When we weren't ungrateful, but what we saw was an underlying issue that got papered over because we won the Premier League trophy. So again, I'll stress it. We won the Premier League. FSG decided to do what? What did they do to Jurgen Klopp? What did they really give him? Because I'm seeing teams that are not even finishing and not winning in the league and not even coming in the top four spend more money than us. We are Liverpool Football Club. And when I'm seeing net spends like bigger with like, I don't know, like Bournemouth and Leicester and them type of teams there, I think to myself, do FSG rate us? Not really. They just see us as a business. They see us as profitable, and they see us as a marketing machine, which we are because we're the best team in the world in world football, and we rival some other sports franchises like you've never seen before. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And what hurts the most is that all of us all in the chat, we're all real fans. It don't matter if you've been to a game, whether you watch Liverpool on TV, whether you watch Liverpool on the freaking internet on your damn phone. We all love the club same way, and we want what's best. And I think, in my opinion, the best thing for me and the best thing that I know a lot of people would probably agree with, Jurgen Klopp stays and we get new owners that are willing to back him and match the ambition of the club. Because I will stress it one more time. FSG got us to a point where we were sustainable, and that model got us to a place where we were winning again. But we don't want it to stop there. We don't want it to be a case of, well, you had your 2 years of glory, so we've done what we needed to do, people, so we're just going to keep you afloat. We're just going to make sure you get top four. I don't want to be like that. We want to win trophies. We are Liverpool Football Club. Like, it's frustrating.
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot.
It's frustrating because, like, when I'm reading things today, like, Salah might get sold, and obviously we'll talk about that. It's like,
we're going to speak about that.
Like, we're Liverpool Football Club, and we're in a position where there's already conversations about we may have to sell our best player to kind of rejuvenate the squad. Like, what? Like, that's not Liverpool, you know?
No, it's true, bruv. So, I mean, that kind of leads me on to the next point about the rumor. I say rumors. The person or the account that broke these rumors, like, I'm not going to even mention the name because I don't want it to get clipped up and I don't want it to make it look like I'm trying to sandbag the person or crap on their parade. They're not the most reliable of accounts, and they have a habit of saying and doing things that will garner interesting clicks in certain situations. But there is a story out at the moment saying that a Chinese investor wants to put 30% or wants to apparently put 30% or acquire 30% of the share of Liverpool Football Club from FSG, and have promised a handsome amount of transfer budget if that were the case. Again, I don't think we should really talk about it because, like, this has just come out of the blue. With all due respect as well, the Chinese Super League is not doing very well. Teams are being dissolved. Like,
that league is
pulling out. Like, they've pulled out of the Premier League deal and all that. So I don't know how and why they've all of a sudden got this money set aside to come in and pay money for Liverpool. But I mean, if something like that were to happen, not necessarily the story that's been reported, but FSG have made no secret that they want to sell a stake of Liverpool, right?
Yes, that is true.
If they did that and brought in someone, could that help? Do you think that's the solution long term?
Well, this is how I look at it, Cal. If another investor comes in to help out FSG and they're pumping in money, and FSG like don't really have to put money in their pocket, FSG are kind of getting off lightly in a weird way because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, they're just gonna sit back and allow the investors to kind of like pump that money in. FSG will reap the rewards, and yes, it will. In my opinion, it might be a quick fix, but I still don't think that's the right way. For me, I think for a fan base, for us to feel fully comfortable, and I get it, the grass isn't always green on the other side. I generally think we need new owners, and it's not because of I think FSG are the worst owners in footballing history. No, I don't. Then you got people like Mike Ashley. And do you know what I'm saying? Like that.
We say,
you know,
but we say that though. Mike Ashley puts more money into Newcastle than FSG do.
no, but Mike Ashley's done Newcastle kind of dirty, and the reason I say that discount,
he has, but he's invested more.
That's true, but Newcastle's fan base is massive, bro. They had a bigger stadium than us before we had the main stand put in. You know, that's how big Newcastle are. And yes, Mike Ashley, but again, Newcastle, if you deep it, they should be like in a top 6 conversation. That's why I will say Mike Ashley let the club down, in my opinion, anyway. Because Newcastle are massive. Like, they're massive, bro. Like, Newcastle, in my opinion, again, should be butting into that top 4 conversation because of the fan base, like the history that they have, bro.
Sorry to cut you, Matt. Let me just clear up, guys. I never once said I'd rather have Mike Ashley over FSG. Loud at people. Come on now. Listen to what I say before you start just writing stuff down. In the time it takes you to listen to what I say and to write a message and press send, let's use that little cog called common sense. And let's say, did Callum actually say that? Let's be real now, people. We're better than
yeah, you never said that, bro. You never said that.
I'm going to leave that there.
Because here's the thing, though. Carl. What I was going to say is this there. You see, Mike Ashley, even though Mike Ashley again is for me, he wasn't a great footballing owner. He may have done some okay things for Newcastle, but I think we can all kind of see he's willing to sell, although he wants to sell at a stupid price. He still wants to sell because he knows he can't take it forward, innit? He just knows that he can't. He doesn't want to do it. With FSG, I kind of feel like they already know they can't match our ambition, but because they're making so much money, they're not willing to budge, and it's going to take a stupid offer for them to say, all right, then we'll just leave them. We'll call it a day. They are raking in money off us, you know. We are a cash cow. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, in my opinion, it's going to take a lot for them, bro, to suddenly realize and go, yeah, Liverpool, they're just not worth it anymore. Do you know what I mean? And that's, again, I just know our fan base will never really be comfortable until FSG are out, in my opinion. And I think they have reason to be. And it's because of the way they run the club. They're not owners who we feel that can do the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And that's that's put your hand in your pocket. I
don't have a problem with FSG apart from how much transfer funds they make available. So all they have to do is change the model, which frees up more money for transfers. And I have absolutely no problem with them still being our own.
Bro, you're saying that, but that means they would have to change. Their model is them. So they won't.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, tweak.
So you've got a major problem with them.
It just needs to be tweaked. There's a massive difference between change and tweak. Because if you change it, then that means loads of things go in different ways and whatnot. All they have to do is tweak it and make, even if it's 50 million available every season before player sales, even that, so that Klopp can still go in and think, okay, well then I can do this and I can do this. Because I'm not going to be stupid. No club can just get rid of every single player for nothing and not care about not getting any money back. Maybe PSG, Man City, that's it. So like we're not saying like, it's never got to be a player has to go or whatever to do this and do that. That's football, that's business. We get that. But make at least a minimum amount of money available every summer before player sales, so Klopp knows that he's got more to work with. Ideally, it should be about 80 mil to 100 mil, which is the financial fair play allowance on money that wasn't made from the income of the club directly for that whole, like, are you spending money you don't have or whatever. That should be available every season. And then after that, then it's like, and if you sell this guy, you can have even more. So do you know what, Klopp? If you want Mbappe, if you can get 50 million for the players that you don't want in the squad, we've already dropped 80. See what you can do and we'll figure something out. That kind of thing. That's the part that they just need to tweak it, bro. But all the other stuff they do, I like. The commercial side, all of the things they do. Look at they got us the night deal. All the other things they do is actually brilliant. I'm not going to sit here and be
It's-
ignorant and act like they're not brilliant at all the other stuff they do for the club. But the transfer budget is stupid. Not one penny unless you make a
See,
sale. That's the part that I have an issue with.
all
Do you get
right,
what I'm saying?
for me, I get what you're saying about like the commercial side of stuff, and that's all well and good. But remember, they're milking off that, fam. So yes, that it makes us look good. They are milking off that. That's how they're making their peas, fam. That's how they're making their peas off us. That's what you got to remember. We're the cash cow, yeah. So when you say tweak the model, for me personally, this is just for me. I would like a new model. The reason why I say that is this: we're in 2021. This ain't 1998. Tweaking, in my opinion, as you said, like 50 mil here or there or whatever. Bro, we're up against some of the richest owners in the history of the world, fam. We're up against Sheikh Mansour. You've got PSG and flipping out, bro. You've even got Roman Abramovich, yeah? You see Liverpool.
Man
We're
United's
so
been
big-
big as well. So
Yeah, we're so big as a club that, imagine this. When Messi's name gets mentioned, we can't talk. We can't say nothing. So see, if you're saying tweaking would mean, well, we can't get Messi, but we can maybe go and get someone else. Like, see, for me, bro, I respect them, but I feel like the ambition that we now need, bro, I'm not trying to say we can buy every single player in world football, but when certain men are on the market, I don't want our name to be ruled out. I want us to be one of the front runners where they go, this is Liverpool. Bro, think of the names that we've had at our club. And I know times have changed, but bro, we've had names where you look at people like, remember back in the day when we had like Fowler, Rush, Dalglish, Keegan, Torres, Suarez, Collymore, like all these strikers, some of them were high transfer fees. Some of them were high at the time. Because remember, like Collymore, I think was like quite pricey.
He's a record.
At that time, yeah. Like, and again, I'm just using Messi as an example. My whole point is this: when a top player leaves whatever club or if he's on the market, people laugh at us, you know, in today and say Liverpool can't afford them; they're broke. So for me, tweaking would just mean, okay, we're well off, we're okay. I would like our club to be wealthy and not rich, because let's be real, bro. FSG, they're the cheapest, richest owners in football at the moment. I would like us to be wealthy if possible, and if not,
you're
slightly
you're
below.
right. You're
We
right.
need
But
more,
the only
man.
thing I'm trying
We
to
need
do
more,
is
bro.
I'm just trying to be sensible at the same time and know that if you can only put 80 to 100 mil of your own money in without breaking FFP, we've got to remember a lot of these clubs do a lot of dodgy stuff and that's how they get away with it. Chelsea get all these players for nothing, loan them out, make all these loan fees, and then somehow get someone to pay 15 mil for them at the end of the season. And they get all this bankroll and you're like, how the hell are they getting away with this? So for an example, even though Roman Abramovich is rich, they've also got that, like, I'm not going to call it a scam because it's not illegal, but you know, you're like, that is like a real, like, how are they managing to do this shit?
Yeah.
And they had 38 players on loan, Matt, and they were all getting like couple mil loan fees from all of them. So they were making like 100 million a season from loan fees of 37 players.
Roman.
So, and then you look at the situation with Man United. You know what? I hate to admit it, but Man U actually do make a lot of money that when they're going big, it's still actually money the club made. Yeah. So when you really think about it, I don't even think bringing in Arab owners, for an example, actually means we can just go and spend 200 million on Mbappe. Don't, you still get in trouble with FFP.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
So what I'm saying is we just need our model within the club where the wages just become a little bit more loose, because that way it means that we can actually get a certain player that we ain't got to go, well, he'll want 250, so there you go, we can't do it. Whereas with that kind of thing, and then on top of that, they need to put, I don't even care if it comes out their own pocket. They need to make a transfer budget available of around 80 to 100 mil for Klopp every season, even 50 at the absolute lowest, so that he can go into a summer and think to himself, I got 50 million pound worth of squad players and they've dropped the oneer on me. I got 150, I can do proper shopping this summer. I ain't got to bat around and get Kabak on loan for 1 million and Davies for 500,000 with add-ons from Preston North End. That's the type of stuff, which is why I want it tweaked, not fully changed. Because like I said, bro, billionaire owners beyond our wildest dreams still doesn't mean that we're going to end up being able to do a madness.
No, I'm not saying that.
Those days are kind of gone now, isn't it?
No, it doesn't. But here's the thing. Yes, I want owners that, for me, will at least put their money in their back pocket too. And whether it's someone from the Far East or whether it's another American. My whole point is this: the model we currently have at the moment is only taking us this far. So I don't want it being tweaked. I want it being theoretically. I would like the model to be scrapped in a sense of this whole sell to buy thing. Yes, obviously you sell players. That's just part and parcel in football. But when certain players become available, I would like our owners to go, Jurgen, Kylian Mbappe, what contract's up in 2022? We're going to go after him. We know how much he will be for you, big for Liverpool. We know how much he'll be big for the club, even when you think about merchandise and all that stuff. But right now, these men aren't thinking like that at all. They're just thinking, those wages, that transfer fee, that's not within our model. And even if you tweaking the model, I don't even think would be good enough to do that. That's the problem. That's my worry. I mean, if we could find that'd be perfect because it's like you got the balance, isn't it?
I think a tweak is what you're saying, though, bro. Because if you said scrap it and start again, for me that would mean everything gets scrapped. But I like the other stuff because it's making the club bigger and better around the world.
Transfers. The transfer.
Oh yeah. Well, all right. So we just want the transfer. We're both in agreement. We want the transfer section scrapped, so to speak. Keep everything as it is. Yeah, but that's what I mean when I say tweak. There's about 8 layers to their ownership, and the only thing I want them to change is the transfer part of it. That's the only part of their model I want them to change. All the other stuff, I'm fine with, bro. The club is valued ridiculously well under their ownership. I just want them to change the transfer policy. That's the part that they need to change.
100.
Fair enough, guys. I'm going to read out some of these super chats and then get into the next bit of the conversation. Tahir Qureshi, FSG has the same model as Arsenal. We are doomed. Been saying that for ages.
For a long time.
Biggs 1871. Remember, John Henry is worth 2.7 billion alone. I'll be honest, I'm this close to just snapping on FSG this evening. I don't know what's come over me. I don't know if it's because I'm back drinking the apple juice. I don't know what. I'm that close to just snapping on FSG, especially
and that's what I'm talking about. They can afford to do what we're asking them to do, which is put money in out of their own pocket. Because no owner of a football club should ever buy that club thinking profit. You buy it for love, you buy it for success, and you do what's necessary to get the success. You don't ever buy a football club thinking about profit. That would be like walking into a Porsche showroom and saying, I want a 911 Turbo, and thinking that when you drive that off the lot in a year's time, you're going to sell that car for more money than you just bought it for. Big man, it loses a third of its value the minute you drive that out. You don't buy a Porsche to think about selling it for profit. You buy it for love and to get the rush when you do that 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. That's what you do. At Liverpool, we're that rush. We're supposed to be that rush anyway. And you do whatever you can to sustain that rush. But they never bought us
with that intention. They never. And
that's the reason why I don't like that they bought us in the first place, because it was never to have us be that successful team constantly all the time. It wasn't. And that is what the problem is for me.
So 2 Pixel 2. Remember when you were a kid, your dad bought you a dairy milk chocolate at Christmas, and then you asked one of your and then you asked for one of your birthday, and your man gets one Memphis FSG, bro. One Memphis.
One Memphis, you know.
JB Phillips. I'm so confused why people blame FSG so much. They gave Klopp a lot. We have a great squad. Only City in this league could have coped. Jamie, I disagree, bro. I disagree. I fully disagree. Do you know? Shall I be honest with you guys? Do you know what I'd really love to do? Because obviously we're on one side of the fence, if you want to call it the FSG and FSG out. What I'd love to do is sit down with maybe another 3 or 4 Liverpool fans or other content creators who are either FSG in or FSG out, and we all just hash it out in one show. I'd love to do that, because you know what? Don't get me wrong. There are certain things, because we're so far gone now, there are certain things we may neglect to look at and things like that, which they may help us with. But contrary to that as well, I think there are things that they neglect to see that I think we could help them see. And I think there needs to be a conversation with both sides. Like, I genuinely think there needs to be a conversation. Like, and I mean a conversation, not just a Twitter rant here or there, and then someone says that, someone says that. And I genuinely would love to have a couple other FSG in content creators on the channel, and we just hash it out. And
But
again,
I'd love to have a sit down with the big man himself. That's what I'd
well,
love.
FSG,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be trusted to do that at the moment. Just
That would
No,
never
but you want to
happen,
know
bro.
what? If they were real owners, they wouldn't mind hearing supporters give them the actual truth.
no, but
if you
no,
hide
but
from that, then that means that you're not willing to accept what you're doing wrong, isn't it?
No, they did that. They did that when they first came in. They did a live calling when they first came in on the Liverpool channel. They actually did do that. So credit.
No, but we're talking about now that you've actually been here for 10 years.
They ain't gonna do it now. They ain't gonna do it now, bro. They ain't gonna do it now. 1975, Jamrock. Klopp needs to evolve. He gives FSG an easy out when it comes to squad depth, with his preference for a small, tight squad that promotes squad unity. Again, so I'm glad someone's mentioned this. Everywhere I keep on seeing is Klopp likes to work with a tight squad. He doesn't like a big squad. When has he ever said that? Because everyone keeps on saying he likes to work with a tight. No, he's had to work with a tight squad. He's had to work with a tight squad. Do you honestly think if Klopp was offered, I don't know, let's go crazy for a minute. Let's say Klopp was offered Donnarumma in the summer to be competition for Alisson, Joshua Kimmich to be competition for Trent and defensive midfield, and Kylian Mbappe and Neto. You think Klopp would turn around and be like, no, I'll only take one of those because I just like working with a tight squad? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. He doesn't want to do that. I know it's not FIFA. I know it's not Football Manager, but come on. Klopp's not stupid. He's not stupid. He looks at that squad, and there's a reason why Nico doesn't play until it comes to the Fulham game. With all due respect to him, there's a reason why Reece Williams and Nat Phillips aren't favoured, and why he went out and got two other centre-backs. Remember, Nat and Reece haven't been injured this season, and he still went out and got two centre-backs. There's a reason why he...
guys,
Sorry, Drew. There's a reason he went out and got Tsimikas in the summer when he knew Robbo was getting run into the ground. Like, come on, man. Come on. Klopp doesn't mind working with a tight squad when he has to, but the game's changed. There's a reason why we've got like 7 to 9 midfielders. That's not a tight squad. 9 midfielders ain't a tight squad. We've got Jota in the summer. You think Klopp didn't want Jota from time ago? Come on, man. Please, people, just open your minds a little bit more. That's all I'm asking. Because it's right there in front of you. It's not even a top reg thing. This comes down to just being logically thinking.
No, but they've been conditioned though, because it's like saying if Klopp, like again, like as you said it, like, I haven't seen a quote where Klopp has said, "I only like to work with a tight squad." I'm pretty sure what he may have said is, like a tight knitted group. Yeah. That's a bit different. A tight knitted group is a bit different to a tight knitted squad. And again, I think even Mourinho said that in the past. You know, Mourinho's always said like, sometimes I like to work with 22 man or whatever. But then also you hear next week Mourinho's crying about he needs new signings. Yeah. So it's like people need to understand.
Klopp's not spoiled, is it? Klopp's not going to sit there and just want players because they can become available. Let's say in the summer, I don't know, Salah was definitely staying, but let's say Sane became available. He's not just going to say, I want Sane just for the sake of it, unless it matches with what he wants. We as fans would be like, yeah, we want him because that's how we are as fans. Klopp's got a bigger plan than that. Klopp's not just going to get a player just for the sake of it. But you can't sit there and tell me. Klopp sits there and says, no, I don't want to add to the squad. I want to run these players into the ground. Come on, man. Because if that's the case, why did we go and get Robbo? So why did we go and get Tsimikas to deputise for Robbo? Why did we go and get Jota in the summer? Why did we add to the squad? Why is our squad bloated to the point where Minamino and Grujic have had to go out on loan? Like, come on, people, man. Please, people, please, I'm asking you, I'm begging you now, look at things a bit deeper. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying you've got to agree with my opinions, Matt's opinions, Drifty's opinions. Just look at things broadly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because I don't think some people are doing that. And I might be guilty of it as well myself at some points. But you know, when it comes to that whole squad thing, it's an excuse. That's what it is. It's an excuse that is being used. You cannot sit there and tell me after we won the Champions League, Klopp said, no, all I want is Adrian, Sepp van den Berg and Elliot. We just lost. Remember, we just lost out to City in the league, so we hadn't won the Premier League. You cannot sit there and tell me, and me sit here and believe it, that he didn't want to add to the squad. He did. Of course, he wanted to add to the squad. We missed out on the league by a point, and the team that we lost out to, they strengthened in the summer. They strengthened in the summer. So you can't sit here and tell me Klopp looked at the team that beat us strengthened, the teams around us strengthening, and said, no, it's fine. We don't want anyone else. Like, come on, people, man. We're better than this. We're better than this now. Have to open your minds. M to the O said, Klopp leaving and saying it's because of FSG is like if your dad's abusive and your mum leaves you with him as a kid. Klopp is the mum, fans are the kid. Decent analogy. Joe M, we won't get as big a fee as we think for players. Madrid and Barca have been burnt with big flops that they can't resell. For example, Coutinho, Griezmann, Hazard. Hence, expect lower value transfers or young gems. Very true. Thank you for your super chat, 9075 Jamrock. Chelsea Maybury. Klopp hasn't been the same since his right-hand man Buvac left. He deserves the credit for the work he did with him over the years. I've mentioned Buvac on here a few times. I'm not going to mention him again only because I would prefer... I'm going to go away and do some more research on how Liverpool have played since Buvac has gone and since Pep's come in, and then look at some of the correlations. Dado 1, thanks for the content, my Kopish brothers, getting us through this depression. Nothing but love. Thank you very much for that. Pandori, this would never have happened with Big Dexy. Now you can see why Drifty was saying he shouldn't have got rid. Lovren equals legend. Was that you typing that, Drifty? Is that your burner? What's that? Pandori singer?
I reckon it's a burner. You know why it's a burner?
He went away. He went away off the screen.
And the last bit was quite telling. Degsy equals legend.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. Dad, you've given yourself away there. Agopa. We're in a position where FSG don't know what to do. We've outgrown them. If FSG were a parent, they'd be breastfeeding a 10-year-old compete also. Oh, gosh. You know, some little Britain thing, yeah. Genie Houdini, remembering the wire where D'Angelo asked Stringer Bell, "Where's Wallace, String? Where Wallace?" I'm on the same winery of FSG about Liverpool spending money. Shout out to our brother LRB Rams. LRB Rams. 1975 Jamrock. Cal, you're wrong on that. Klopp actually said that. Look, if I'm wrong, please feel free to DM me and show me the quote. I'm more than happily come back on here, put my hands up and say I'm wrong. But I'll also ask you when he said that. Because I've said stuff back in 2015, 2016 that I wouldn't say in 2021.
Also the context as well. Like you think about the context
because
as well.
let's just say that he did actually say, and he meant it, and he even still means it now, and he only wants like 18, 19 players, like he does like a tight-knit squad. Don't for 1 second think that he doesn't want Kimmich, who can play 3 positions, but properly an actual utility player. Not some brother you're just square pegging in round holes, an actual utility player. Don't think he doesn't want superstars as his first 11, and don't think all of those other backup players aren't so good. You don't even mind when he makes a change. He don't mean I want 18, 19 man, and the first 11 are good, and then the other 7, if I make a change, will probably lose the game because they're not good enough. So there is context to what he's saying as well.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want injury-prone players. And someone made a very good point. You know, loaning out Gruitch was one of the worst mistakes we made this summer. Because all jokes aside,
we had no choice.
No, bro. I actually think that when you look at the squad now, with no disrespect to the people I'm going to name, Shaqiri, Ox, Naby, any of these, man, who've been injured all year, at least Gruitch would have been playing. So even if you just do it on the basis of his availability, he would have actually been better and let one of them lot go than the other way round.
In hindsight.
Was it because of the foreign quota, though? That's the bit I'm not...
Yeah, no, but Shaqiri's a foreign player, Naby's a foreign player. Like, even if you'd have done something like, don't get rid of Naby because obviously a quality player, but you like loan him to a league that's a bit slower to get a year of fitness back. Or, you know, like if anything we'd have done that meant Gruitch should have stayed would have probably benefited us this season.
we say that though, but Gruitch is firmly on the bench at Porto, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he's
but
stuck to
really.
it.
I feel
He's
sorry for
stuck to the
Gruitch.
bench, bro.
I do
He's
feel
not
sorry
really-
for Gruitch because Gruitch proved in pre-season that he's a good player. And I think
Against
he's
poor
just been
opposition.
dashed around a bit.
I think with Gruitch, we've
pre-season,
never.
I don't think you can say that about pre-season because
Yeah, do you know
Minamino looked like a world beater in pre-season. With
No,
all due
but we
respect, he
know that
wasn't.
Gruitch is a good player as well. It wasn't just pre-season. He's a good
No,
player.
for
He
me,
is.
Gruitch looked good, but again, I needed to have seen him in the Prem 10, 15 games. So you kind of got a point in the sense of maybe he would have been fit. Maybe he might have done better than what we expected. I don't know. It's a tough one, but
But
let's
I
just
see where
get
you're
ready
coming
for it.
from.
Just get
By
ready
the
for
way,
it.
just before I forget, we have it on good authority that the reason why Klopp made so many changes in that game is because the sports science guys actually told him at this point during the metrics, these people need a rest. So apparently it wasn't even tactical or performance-based. It was based on the sports team telling him these men need a break.
And he actually said he
believed
wanted
that?
to make. He actually said he only wanted to make 5 changes, but was forced into making 2 other changes in the form of Firmino being out and Kabak being out. So he was forced into those changes. So,
Oh, yeah, because Kabak and Firmino were injured, isn't it?
But I think the thing that's more telling about that than anything is, one, how comes only now the sports science team are getting involved? How about all the other millions of games that we've rinsed these men out in? And 2, it wasn't even tactical then. So that means that Klopp would have just probably played the same 11 that's been losing.
Do you know what I will say? Even though you may have seen that, I'm not even know if I'm going to take that as gospel, though, because you're making the valid point. How do we know that? Because
I know, but what I'm saying is it's under good authority, as in reliable sources. It could be bullshit. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and
the reason why I'm even saying that is because you made a valid argument. Because you even said yourself, it's like, well, how come these men are only making decisions now, but then you didn't think about it before when all these men are just dropping like flies? I know some of them couldn't be accounted for, like Van Dijk and whatnot. Some of them can't be, like injuries like that. But you know, when you think to yourself, well, if that's the case, then why did you not stop certain man coming out the pitch before? Like Fabinho. The amount of times we've seen Fabinho have to make his comeback about 4 times this year, bro.
Yeah. Another thing that I want everyone to know as well is, even though we're saying what needs to be said about the way the owners haven't backed Klopp the way they should have, I'm still not taking away a lot of the responsibility from Klopp. I just feel sorry for him at the moment, and I don't just want to keep going ham. But there are still a lot of things, like even like the substitutions he makes in games and stuff, that I'm still like,
agreed.
Klopp's got to fix up. He's got to fix up, man.
You need to see what I said at the beginning of the show, yeah? Because I was backing Klopp, even though I did say he's made some mistakes. I mean, man ain't perfect. He's made some mistakes this season, but I think it's more about backing him and hoping that FSG give him the tools to do the thing. But kind of segueing off that, yeah, or talking about something completely different, I need to ask you, man, a serious question. A serious question. Where's Ben Davies?
Injured.
He can't be. Klopp said he was fit and he was ready.
Clearly weren't.
Am I the only one that's just thinking Ben Davies is literally a real life holiday?
Apparently, them man were playing hide and seek in the basement, and people forgot to look for him, and he fell asleep. Now we don't know where he is.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna be real. Ben Davies is not a real thing. It's like I don't even know, bro. Man's baffled. So they said we signed 2 centre backs. One of them was Kabak, the other one was Davies. They must have photoshopped some actor into the thing that looked like a next person. Said man was here, but we've not seen man since. We've heard he's been injured in his first training session. We've heard he's not ready. We've heard he is ready. He's supposed to be on the bench. And
he was on the bench once.
And not even the basement crew can vouch for it. Something ain't right, people. I'm just saying.
Them man that were playing Marco Polo, but they remixed it in it and they called it Kabak Davies.
Asen Industries, FSG, stop handing me Gary. I want solid food for MC. Cal Matteo Drifty, Baby Rib says we need more barbecue sauce. I don't know what that is getting at.
Do you remember where's Wally?
Yeah.
Where is Wally? Where is Wally? Where?
Can you believe they turned it to Waldo because people were offended by Wally? That's mad, isn't it?
Bro, where's Davis?
I don't know, bro. Don't know. Gangan Deep said it before, the self-sustaining model only works when we're rebuilding, not when you're looking to elevate the club to bigger heights. Hashtag doomed. Our only light at the end of the tunnel is win the Champions League. Hashtag done out here. Obviously, just speaking on the Champions League, we will be doing a RB Leipzig preview probably tomorrow for the game. So make sure you keep
win
up
the
to date with
Champions
us.
League, you know.
Yeah, I know. Small.
Someone said Simicast as well. He's another. Them man are missing.
No, Simicast was on the bench.
Was he actually on the bench, or was he named on the bench?
No. What you say, these man? They're not even appearing. They're just names now.
Guys, can you man honestly sit there, all of you in the chat? Can you honestly sit there and go, yeah, I saw him on the bench? Because I can't. Sometimes, you know, when they do the pan and they might show you a certain group. Man ain't seeing certain players, bro. Something's not right. It's a get out.
Let me
Hold on, let me get through the super chat, Stu. Let me get through the super chat. LFC Aaron Klopp will do an interview with Oprah. That's hilarious. I'm not going to lie. That is jokes. Well done for that. That is jokes.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, we can't speak about that stuff on this channel here, but...
I sent a tweet out, bro. Let's say the better.
I just don't want us to get clipped up. You know what people can be like.
Yeah. I'm not going to go too bad into it. If you want to talk to me about that, just DM me.
Yeah, you can speak to us personally.
Yeah, and if you rile me up, I might put something up on something, on Insta or something. If you rile me up, I might say something.
Y'all ungrateful hot dog. We love Liverpool Soccer Club. we will back club 100% this summer with player sales. We will. To hear, we should have got Pablo Escobar's own. I don't know about that one. Oh no about that one. I like our kits red, not white. Mr. Tibbs 09. As someone who followed the Red Sox, I can tell you FSG's model is not based on building serial winning teams. Boston win every 2 to 7 years. Dinesh, FSG want fans to spend £90 on the t-shirt, £50 children. How can a family of 4 pay £300? Hit them in their pockets and don't buy anything from the Liverpool shop.
It's £100, by the way.
Yeah, so the top was 100. My little one still ain't getting one this year either. A-Spec Limited, we need to accept what our owners are. While they're here, we will always sell a Salah to buy 2, sell a VVD to buy 2, and dare I say it, sell a Trent to buy 2. Whew. Lewis Seeley, FSG have this summer to change my mind on them. It seems that they want to invest the least amount possible, but get the highest return on value from Klopp. Yep. And Marcus Fleming's team's been on the decline for about 13 months with VVD and no injuries. 7-2, 4 against Villa, 4-0 against City, 3-0 against Watford. This is totally an injury/board. This is not a totally injury/board problem. Brother O Samson, don't think Klopp rates Davies that much. Either that or he needs more bedding time. Musa LFC 21. The problem is that we have is the club we compare ourselves to. Their owners take dividends out every year, but any money we make gets put back into the club. That's why I want to have the conversation, by the way, because stuff like that's something we can actually have a discussion around. 2-bit, congrats to Stevie, my favorite player of all time. We are going to speak about Gerrard, don't you worry. Khalil Hassan, Ben and Costas have been kidnapped, and the kidnappers have told the club not to report them, or they'll... not going to read that last line out. Don't want us to get demonetized. Moose LFC, by the way, I'm not defending FSG. I'm just saying if they were to invest their own money, they'd want to start taking money out, which none of us will like. Very true. Folks, back Kop-Ish with liked is free. We love that. Please do like the video, please, guys.
Can I just ask you that? Because go on. Remind me about that one about taking money out. Remind me, please. Yeah.
Asen Industries. Imagine giving your girl used flowers for your anniversary and then expecting to eat. FSG doing the same crap after the Champions League with top Reds back this.
What are you saying? As you was walking up the garden path, you just ripped the flowers out. Your woman clearly knows she planted a couple of weeks ago.
Lord Walker, we need owner with
Still got
finances
soil on
of
it, you
Roman.
know. You're just trying to brush it off if she opens the door.
We need owners with finances of Romans, but FSG management to hold them within reason. But FSG can make amendments by getting Koulibaly at a reported 45 million. Ashish, love 3 of you. You'll never walk alone. Hope Klopp doesn't leave us this summer, but it is easier for FSG to replace him than be accountable for bad wage structure. Scary. Clinton, when we drop the beat for you while I just sort out something here. Happy birthday, Clinton.
We got
Happy birthday, Clint.
The speaker says American owners are ruining everything. I don't want to categorize all Americans owners. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think we only speak about the ones who aren't doing good things. Sean Swain, damn, I'm married to FSG, £8 a week pocket money. That's generous still, more than what Klopp gets at the moment. Dado 1, Cal put a show together, FSG in or out, great idea. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Khalil Hassan, John Henry and Tom Werner are worth 3.3 billion alone. Dado 1, thanks for I've got that one already. Yeah. All right. So so this is from Flintoff. FSG have made our fan base think we have to sell Salah to buy another world-class attacker. Wake up and smell the coffee, people. Facts. Andra, true fact. The last time Liverpool scored from open play at Anfield, Man City has won 18 games.
Is that true?
Andra. Yeah. It is. Oh,
Man City have won 18 games since the last time we scored a goal from open play at Anfield. Is that real?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Come on, man. Where? But
here's the wickedest thing. That's why I'm saying, even though FSG are massively to blame, we do have to keep asking Klopp what is going on, because regardless of the situation, that's unacceptable no matter what the situation is. I'll be honest with you, bro. We should have not gone 18 games in terms of Man City winning without us scoring a goal, even if we had to play our under 23s. Like, there does have to be questions asked about our tactics and our mentality and what we're doing at the moment. Honestly, bro, when you really deep it, our under 23 should have been able to score a goal at Anfield against the teams we've played against. There's a bigger problem. There is a bigger problem.
Agreed. So let's speak a little bit about transfers. I don't want to spend too long on this.
Just quickly about on that question.
Oh yeah, you're going to say Sorry.
Yeah, if FSG don't take any money out, and I'm not even making any accusations here. I'm just genuinely asking the question. If they don't take any money out, where is it? All that prize money from the Champions League, all that prize money from the Premier League, all that prize money from the World Club Championships, all the TV revenue, all of it. Where is it? If they don't take any money out, where is it?
So this is the thing. So it is actually going back into the club. The problem I have with that is because of our model and how we base things. So it almost comes as a detriment to the club when we're successful. And the reason I say that is because when we won the Champions League, loads of players got crazy bonuses, right? So that means you've got less money to spend. Same with winning the Premier League. But again, what annoys me about that is we shouldn't be punished for our success. In the same way, if I go out and get a Lamborghini, I can't then turn around and be like, petrol's so expensive on this car, isn't it? It'd be silly, innit? It'd be like, why did you get a Lamborghini then? I'm like, yeah, Lamborghini's the one. I wanted a Lamborghini. It's to deal with the petrol then. Like, if you want us to win and that's the model you set, you still should be able to go outside of that and deal with it. Khalil Hassan, 18 games, no goals from set pieces. Oh, allow the facts, people, please. You're killing me.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about when you just said that thing about the Lamborghini? You know, from Croydon to the West End cost £10 in petrol in a Range Rover.
Jeez. That's why I stick to my Fiesta.
So it would be like, but remember, that's £20 there and back, bro. So that would be like
That's
buying a
train
Range
journey.
Rover and then complaining about how much money you spend on petrol.
Yeah, exactly. Agopa, Klopp needs ready-made players, not Moneyball signings. He has 3 years left. He ain't developing players anymore, which means keep his stars and add. So, all right. Yes, so 3 players. No, in fact, 2 actually. So reports have come out today saying that if we do sell Salah, that we are favourites to get Mbappe. Again, I don't. It's not happening. Yeah, it's not happening. So we don't even really spend time on that, do we?
They're blowing more smoke up our ass than a bloody chimney, bro.
Yeah. Apparently, Grealish is also on the wish list for us, but again,
no,
that ain't happening, is it? Not with the current form. So shout out to Kev as always. Cal, unfortunately, there's the cost of retaining our elite players where before we couldn't fend off interest from Spain. Again, Kev, fully agree with that and fully understand that. But because we keep our best players, that shouldn't come to the detriment of adding to what we've got. So that's where my frustration is. It's like we can't sit here and we can't, like, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. If we sell players, then it screws us over. If we keep players, it screws us over. So what do we do? Like, where do we go? And that's not obviously directed at you, Kev. That's just in general. Like, to me, that model doesn't work anymore. Like, that model worked when we were developing. We were at the top. That model, it changes. It changes. In the same way, I used to be able to do certain things when me and the missus were renting. I can't do now that we've got a kid and a house. Like, your plans change. You have to change how you live. And that's what we're not doing. We're not changing how we live. We're still acting like we're a bachelor at 21 years old and don't have a care in the world. Whereas now we're 30, got a couple kids, got a house, got responsibilities. We're not acting like it. We're not acting like it. That's my frustration. To hear.
No, go on.
Drifty, last time we won, you shaved your beard.
I'm shaving tonight.
I swear, since we last won a game, Drift, you've had.
We'll see. When's it going to grow back by 9:30?
You've had a beard. You shaved it. You've had stubble.
I mean, we need to understand what the definition of a beard is, because I've got a beard now. It's just not high. Like, what's the definition of a beard?
No, what I mean is you've had a beard that's longer than that. No. But I'm just saying you've had it longer than that. You shaved it off. You've had stubble. You've had bro, you've had it all, fam. It don't matter.
Yeah,
man just throwing out loose terms like it's not shading me, you know. All right,
no, we won't exit. No,
man said a beard's a beard, ain't it? No, it's not.
Slight disrespect.
That's so much shade in one goal, bro.
Shade, fam.
Let's move on to something a bit more positive. Steven George Gerrard has achieved an amazing feat. Now, again, we don't know if we get it as much. And shout out to Conroy, who's Scottish and follows the channel, who we speak to. Conroy's just been informing me how big this whole Rangers winning the league thing is, especially for Gerrard. So no team's won the league 10 times in a row in Scotland. It's always been stopped at 9. And that was Gerrard's job this season, to stop Celtic doing it for the 10th time in a row. He's done that. He's done that on a budget than Celtic, with a lesser squad than Celtic. And also he's a new manager. Everything was stacked up against him. And you know what? He's won the league chronologically earlier than any other manager. Like,
what, in Scotland or in general?
I think in Scotland. But some have said in general as well. But I'm just going to say Scotland for now because I don't know 100%. Steven George Gerrard not only proved he was a better player than most, he's also showing he's got the capabilities of being a better manager than most as well. This guy's an absolute genius. And I know I'm biased.
Man, who expected anything else?
I know I'm biased. But you know what? On this thing, I'm not even going to apologize for being biased. I'm not even going to apologize. I know secrets of it. I've got a Gerrard agenda. The guy is levels. But I hope he doesn't come to Liverpool right now. Do you guys agree with that?
Here's the problem. I'm going to be shady here, but fuck it, innit? People like Aubameyang and Havertz and players like that, when Arteta or Lampard is shouting at them, they actually can just turn around and be like, well, you ain't even that good, man. Shut your mouth, man.
No, they can't say that to Lampard, bro.
Not to Lampard.
No,
bro.
they
I'll
can't.
be like,
But let me be shady. But you see how Gerrard, yeah, is just different sauce. I reckon he walked into that Rangers dressing room, asked someone to pass him the ball, pinged it across the dressing room, knocked over something he'd conveniently placed earlier on to know he was going to do it, caught the ball back in a trap after it rebounded back after knocking whatever it was over, and said, listen, whatever I say, you do it. You hear me? And everyone went, oh shit, this is Steven Gerrard. Oh shit, this is Steven Gerrard. Oh shit, this is Steven Gerrard. And then man, they're just gone from there. That's what it is. What it is. I reckon Aubameyang nutmegs Arteta in training. So, but shut your mouth, man, and just play.
That'd be a
Just shut your mouth. I bet Xhaka has arguments with Arteta about who the better midfielder was.
No. Arteta was a good midfielder, man. Don't shade him like that. He's a good midfielder.
For real.
Bro.
But I think
good enough to get a job without any good enough to get a job based on reputation.
It's true. He got that job because of his obviously the guy who was underneath was Pep Guardiola, innit? That's the only reason why I got that job. Yeah.
Yeah. It was who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so no, just got a point. Like even though obviously like Arteta for me was a good CM or whatever. Xhaka could still kind of talk to him though.
No,
like,
I disagree.
No. He could in a sense of not say that like there'll be an argument at least to be had. Arteta was shut down, but there's an argument. No, Carl.
There's not.
You're rating Arteta. Wait, this ain't Santi Cazorla. This is
no, it's real. But Arteta was a good player.
Guys,
there's no doubt he was a good player.
And let's be real.
Arteta was not special in any way, shape, or form as a player.
Guys.
He wasn't special in any way, shape, or form.
Xhaka's not special, bro.
He's
not. I told you, I was being shady, bro. I was just being shady.
Yeah,
but if we want to be,
Matt's being serious, though.
No,
if
also,
we want to...
Let me ask you this, yeah? Do you think Arteta was better at Everton or Arsenal, in your opinion?
Everton, but he was still good at Arsenal.
Yeah, okay.
No, Arteta was good. I'm not going to say he wasn't great. But
that's what I mean. Now, all jokes aside, listen, my whole point is this. I know. Listen, I know.
No, he's better than Xhaka. I told you I was being shady, innit?
Yeah, of course. And I was joking along.
All right, let's find the realistic comparison for Arteta while we're in shade mode.
I'll tell you who could talk to him. Hold on.
Sigurdsson. Is he a better player than Sigurdsson?
Yes. Come on.
No, Cal. Honestly, is Arteta a better player than Sigurdsson?
Yes, he was.
Matt, is he?
Oh, come on, guys, man. We may not.
I think Sigurdsson's a pretty good footballer.
No, Arteta is better. Arteta is better, but I had to think. Yeah, no, Arteta's better. It's not like massive cut and dry though. It's not massive.
Right, is Arteta better than? Let me think of something that's not a liberty to
disrespecting Arteta a little bit, you know. It's kind of harsh.
No, Arteta can play ball. He can play ball, but he wasn't no Santi Cazorla.
Here's a good one for you. Is Arteta better than... Actually, that was obviously shade. So I'm trying not to be shady here. Hold on.
Oh, he was a good footballer, man.
No, it was good.
He
was good. But that's where it stopped. Good.
He was.
This is my point.
I would say very good.
Would you? For me, as much as I rated Arteta, dare I say maybe a B-Tech Xabi Alonso? If I'm being honest.
Oh, definitely B-Tech.
Yeah, but B-Tech Xabi Alonso is still a hell of a player.
Yeah, but when you're someone's B-Tech, that's just not a good look, though.
No, but bruv, Xabi Alonso is no B-Tech to nobody, bro.
All right, that's a good comparison. Who's better? Who's better?
Yeah.
Hargreaves or Arteta?
Different players. One's a strict.
No, not really. Not really.
Come on, Drift, man.
Not really, bruv.
So
Hargreaves is way better than Arteta. Way better than Arteta.
No, you need to compare Hargreaves to someone like a Mascherano or someone like that.
No, Hargreaves could do it all, bro.
Necessarily like
he
was a destroyer, but
Hargreaves could do it all before the injuries. Hargreaves could do it all. He's a box to box, bro.
Come on, guys.
He could take set pieces. His passing was very good. He could clean up. All right, Declan Rice, that's a good one. Is Arteta better than Declan Rice?
Don't stop now, you man. Allow it. No, allow it.
No,
Why is he better than Declan Rice?
Allow it. Come on, man.
You rate Declan.
I do rate Declan, but how many years?
So why is
has he played?
Arteta better than Declan Rice?
How many years has Declan played?
No, but I'm not talking about the length of career because then that's obvious. I'm just talking about
ability.
as a footballer.
Yeah, just talking about ability.
As a
footballer,
is he better than Declan Rice?
Bro, you can't compare it, bro. He's not even played 2 years at the top, 3 years at the top, has he?
No, stop talking about how long. He's just talking about ability-wise.
Actually, no. Somebody just said the perfect comparison.
I know who you're gonna say.
Or Gareth Barry. I'm going Gareth Barry.
Yeah, I'm going Gareth Barry. But Gareth Barry
well, then Arteta ain't really that great because we said our club nearly got ruined trying to sign Gareth Barry. So what are we talking about
Gareth Barry is a very good.
What are we talking about here?
Brother,
talking about here?
Gerrard
that man are nutmegging Arteta in training and saying, "Sit down, brethren. You got one FA Cup in your whole career."
Barry's better than one of your centre mids. Yeah, it's not that. Not for me anyway.
Brother Samson, Gerrard most definitely has the minerals, but he ain't ready for Liverpool just yet. Give him another 3-4 years, in my opinion. I agree. Khalil
I don't want him to come into this.
Arteta or Partey. Again, I think
Partey's a better footballer than Arteta, probably.
Is he?
Probably.
In what sense?
I think he's just got a little bit more to his game.
I disagree. I don't agree with that.
Cal, Arteta or Actually, that's too easy.
And by the way, I'm not an Arteta fanboy. I don't believe in shading him the way you shaded him. Like,
no, we're saying he's okay. Like he's decent, innit? He's a decent midfielder, but he can't be like certain man can talk to him, innit?
A lot of people can talk to him. He goes, when there's managers who were great footballers, and then there's managers who were either good footballers or worse, you've got, I mean, this might work out for Arteta. You've got Jose, you've got Rafa, you've got Ferguson, Brendan, loads of managers, and some of those are the best managers ever, but they weren't really good footballers, but they just had the intelligence. Klopp, these men weren't really good footballers, but they had the intelligence. So I'm putting Arteta in that bracket, because over in the other bracket, you've got the Ancelottis, you've got the Mancinis, you've got the Peps, you've got the actual ballers, and then they went on and actually became great managers as well. Simeone, like, you know, there's 2 brackets in it. It depends on bracket you're in. Gerrard's going in this bracket, and Arteta's going in that bracket.
Obviously, if Arteta and Gerrard, there's not even a comparison. Look, Arteta's not even a Premier League legend for me, but he's not rubbish like you lot are making out. Like you.
No, but I don't think the people are compared into were rubbish. I think Sigurdsson's a good footballer. I wasn't being that shady, to be honest.
Sigurdsson ain't done nothing for years, bro.
But Sigurdsson and Arteta are the same. Nothing special. We'll have good games. Have a few winning moments. I know they're different. But please don't say Milner or Arteta. Come on, guys.
Oh, that's not close. That's not close.
Yeah, Cal, in your opinion, who's better? I know they're different. Who would you say? James Rodriguez or Mikel Arteta? That just come to my brain right now.
James, but again, they're completely different.
What about Gini Wijnaldum?
Gini?
What about
like? I'm
just making sure, you know. I'm making sure because the way you said Arteta, I'm just making sure because the way you said it, even though me and Drift are having a little bit of banter, yeah.
That's a great one, John Joe Shelby or Arteta.
Oh, leave it out, man.
No, for techers, for pure techers, who's better, John Joe Shelby or Arteta? For pure
leave
techers,
out you, man.
Ruben Neves.
Arteta over Neves.
What for pure techers?
For pure techers, though.
Yes.
All right.
Arteta or Gundogan?
Oh, Gundogan, come on, don't bug me off. A go past. Steve ain't finna work under FSG. They let him go. AA Arteta or J Spirit. J Spirit. You lot happy now? J Spirit. You lot are harsh, man.
J Spirit.
Before we sign off, people, got a big question that we were asked earlier on in the show. Your favorite, I can't remember, was it the best or favorite? Let's go with favorite.
No. It was
like,
the best. I think he goes the best because he goes not your favorite, but the best UFC match you've ever seen, I think.
All right, Matt, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, for flip's sake, I knew you were gonna say me first, you know.
Remember, for me, I've only been watching UFC for about 7 years, so it's a bit easier for me.
Yeah.
Don't make excuses for yourself. You're gonna pick something. You're gonna say it with your chest.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm not gonna be naming any of the real classic UFC fights because I never used to watch UFC.
No, but Jeff, do you know what? Remember, this is just your part. And again, because it's like saying, in my opinion, there's no wrong or right answer, you know, because there's been so many classics. It just depends on where you rate that classic. So
I think
trying to get myself
I think
out
it
of it.
might have been last year.
No, there's one that I know what Cal's thinking. Cal's thinking about the one that happened not too long ago, like maybe about 2 months ago. But
I think I know what you're talking about.
if I'm being maybe I'm
There's a
going
lot, you know. I've been watching UFC for time.
See, one of the best ones personally that I've watched for me was the first fight between John Jones and Gustafsson. For me, that's one of the best battles I've ever seen because at that time, John Jones was the killer of his division, and he met a guy, in my opinion, that was pretty much nearly neck and neck to rival him. And when I say they were going back and forth for the whole thing, it was a madness. Like when I say I've never seen John Jones get beat up like this, but he just about put that fight for me was epic. Like I remember that fight like it was yesterday. Because like the thing is, I remember in that fight, Jones hit Gustafsson with one bang. And Gustafsson does this little trademark thing that he does where like he does this little run around thing. You know what I'm talking about,
He jogs off.
He jogs it off. He's like, all right, cool, I can't fucking get in it.
I'm gonna reset it, man.
Trust me, that fight was sick. See, that fight there is one of my all-time favorites. But I'm also thinking about.
No, but he said the best fight, not your favorite fight, the best fight. I'm deliberating between Lawler and McDonald.
Which one?
The second one. Hooker and Poirier.
Who and Poirier?
Hooker and Poirier.
Yeah, that fight was stupid.
Sensational.
That fight was stupid.
Absolutely sensational.
That fight was stupid.
There was another one I had in my head, but because I've waited so long to talk about.
Carl, what's that one? That come on? I'm trying to remember. That come on the other day. Not when I say other day.
Figueiredo Moreno.
That's it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Aye, that fight was lit. Oh my days.
What about? Actually, no. I won't even put him in it because that was more entertainment. I'm just thinking about Cody and Dominic Cruz.
Hey,
that was a good fight.
That fight was sick, but that was more. But that was more.
Cody dominated that.
And it sounds crazy. For me, a great fight means like it's neck and neck, in a weird way. Like because a great fight means like like it could go either way.
Yeah, it could go either way. Yeah.
What about? Because I'm thinking about Anderson Silva. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I like techie fights, innit?
Yes,
I like very techie fights. So my favorite fights are gonna be a lot of people's favorites.
We got to talk about this weekend off air as well. Still.
Yeah. Of course.
Gladly. I told you.
I cowed, man.
I told you, and I wanted him to win, but I told you. I done told you.
But I knew it.
I'm upset.
But you lot always say that I don't really like Izzy. I'm like, it's nothing to do with that.
No, I'm upset, Carl. I mean,
you have to understand. I know everything is completely different. And sorry to the people who don't like UFC. I know everything is always at different stages or whatever. But do you lot still feel as confident that he could take on Bones after seeing what it's like when he does move up? Because I remember a lot of people thought he was smoke Bones just because of how good he is at middleweight.
Yeah, no.
But there is a difference between that step up. There's a big difference.
100%. But what I said to Cal is this. I said, if this was prime John Jones, it wouldn't even be a debate. It would be prime John Jones all day, every day. But remember, we're talking about the John Jones as of now, who's struggling to beat guys like Dominic Reyes. Even though John Jones is still amazing, I still feel like the fire he had when he was younger was burning, whereas now it's
Yeah,
more
he
so,
cruises through and does just enough now, innit?
Yeah,
That's what he
it's a
does.
bit
Dare I
different.
say, I don't think he did enough in his last 2 fights. I think he lost both fights, one against Santos and against Reyes. I think he lost both those
I
fights,
think
in my
he did it.
opinion.
I didn't want to say it, but I felt like that as well. Like I did feel like that. But again, it's one of them things where it's like when you're the champion, it's like you have to really beat the champ to be the champ, innit? You have to bust him up, and those guys, even though they gave him a hard time, they didn't take
You man are dodging the question though. You still ain't answered still.
No, if I'm gonna say which fight I just purely thought was the best, I'm gonna have to go Poirier and thing. I am. It was
Poirier and Hooker. That one was sick.
That fight was sensational. Honestly, that fight was sick. And I had no idea who was gonna win till the 4th, maybe 5th round.
Yeah. I'm still gonna stick with Jones and Gustafsson 1. For me, that's an instant classic. That for me goes up there with that's top 3 in my opinion. If it's not
I've got another one. I've got another one. Derek Lewis and Ngannou.
What you mean? This one, Ziff? You. No, you. No, you. Nah, fam. You. Nah, you go next. You go next, fam.
I've never seen a fight where both men were so shook of the other man's power, no one just did anything for a whole fight.
Fam, it was mad.
Shout out to Imran. Imran's one of the guys I speak to about UFC of Kop-Ish offline. That's another. This is another one people sleep on.
That's the best. I think that might be the best finish, though. I think that might be the best finish.
It probably was.
You went like that, bro. You went like that.
I think that might be the best finish. Still.
Yoga Whitaker 2.
That was a fight, It was.
But if I'm gonna say my favorite fight, though. Sorry, the best fight I've watched, I may have to go with. I know it's maybe recency bias. Figueiredo and Moreno. That was on site. That literally was on site.
Yeah.
Like them two came out and were like, "You want to have it? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do this."
That was such a good fight. That's the type of fight where I'm looking like it's going to be a Rocky 5 settings where you just see man sitting in the doctor's office. He's like, "Yeah, I've got bad news. You've suffered permanent brain damage. Like you're not supposed to get punched in the head like that many times, man."
But here's the thing. This is why boxers are more susceptible to actually getting brain injuries than UFC fighters and MMA fighters, though, right?
Yeah. I remember you telling me that the whole it's about repetition of punches rather than just the power. No, but in that fight, I think both of them took as many licks as some boxers get in about 10 years, bro.
Nah, boxers get hit, bro.
Yeah, but them two were unloading on each other. It was insane.
Yeah.
But same like Poirier and Hooker, them two were punching each other.
Joanna and Jay Ling.
Oh, nah, I'm not gonna lie. That fight was serious.
She was pregnant on her forehead, bro. She was pregnant on her forehead.
Yeah, that was peak. I can't lie, that was peak.
Do you know what fight I really, really enjoyed? Shevchenko Nunes too.
Yeah, Shevchenko got robbed in that for me.
That's my girl. You know that already, bro.
Shevchenko's the only one, in my opinion, that could even talk to Nunes. And
only one. Nunes might as well just retire, or she's just getting paid for free right now.
Bro, what did I say to you?
2 fights in one night. Go WWE with it. She got to fight the first fight at 135.
2-on-1, bro. She might as well just do a 2-on-1 thing, bro.
Yeah. She's got the first fight of the night. She fights at 135, and she fights the main event at 145. I want to see.
Bro, she's so good. I think you could do the first fight is 145. She'd take a shit, and the second fight is 135.
Nah, it's true. It's just pointless. Like, not anyone they bring to her, they just get slaughtered. Like, it's actually like stupid.
And I like Megan Anderson as well, but I just knew she had no chance.
There's levels to this,
she took that first bang. And she said, "What have I got myself into?"
She didn't want none of it.
What have I got myself into?
But Nunes does that to everybody, though. Like, what she does is she just says to people, like, "Listen, you're gonna feel one bang and see if you're still on it." And when they feel that one bang, nobody
get this
other than Shevchenko. But the thing is, Shevchenko doesn't really get hit like that. That's nothing because Shevchenko is so technical. It's very rare that you see like Shevchenko get hit so flush like that. Like the way Shevchenko is able to gauge this.
But Shevchenko's like the Iniesta of UFC, bro.
Yeah, it's real.
The way she can gauge space.
This was telling for me, yeah, because in the post-fight interview, they asked Nunes, obviously the size discrepancy and stuff, were you worried? Her answer was, no, I regularly train with a guy who's that size and I do well all the time.
But remember when I said to you, I think she could punch up most men in the bantamweight division of men.
Bro, do you know what Masvidal said about? Because I think Joe Rogan, it might have been Joe Rogan who asked him like, who's the killer in the gym? Like, who's got the most bodies on the list? And he was like, probably Yoel and Amanda. And they were like, Amanda knocking out chicks, and he's like, no, guys too. Like when Masvidal is saying she's dealing with man and women. She's all about equality. Like, she's all about equality. She's a problem. She is a problem. Best female.
I actually think that's what they should do. I think they should set up a super fight and put her in there with one of the male bantamweights.
No. She'll lose to certain men, bro. There's levels.
I'm not saying top 5, but she'll thump up enough of them man.
The thing is, if she loses and she gets beaten badly, it becomes a big.
I've never want to see a crossover fight between a man and a woman.
Yeah, no, because I don't really want to see a man punching a woman in the face. But I genuinely think she'd beat enough of them man, though.
No, I don't.
You see all the people that are out of the rankings, I think she'd probably smoke most of them.
This person, I think she'd probably win against. No, I'm not even shading. I think she'd win that.
But
I'm not even shading.
But that wouldn't even be a
she
fight.
will bad him up differently, bro.
I think she'd win that comfortably.
But that would be a no contest.
That would be hard to watch still.
Yeah.
CM Punk would get absolutely destroyed, bro.
It'd be hard to watch.
It's not even funny.
Be hard to watch. But people, we're going to start to wrap up there. Going to probably come out with the preview for the RB Leipzig game tomorrow. It's not going to be an easy preview, that one either. Then obviously we'll be back live after the RB Leipzig game on... Is it Wednesday the game is? Wednesday, isn't it?
Wednesday, I think it is.
Yeah. It's all a blur right now, isn't it?
Yeah, for real. Back live on Wednesday. Wow. And obviously Rival Watch. We'll have a Wolves preview before next week as well. As always, guys, we're looking... So in the next couple of weeks, obviously, the international break. So now is the best time. If you want to suggest a video for us to make, etc., now's the best time to do it because we'll have slightly more time. Not a lot more time, but slightly more time to work with. So if you let us know from now, then we may be able to put something together for you guys. Obviously, we're on the road to 20K. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Do share what we're doing as well with other channels and other people. Get them on board. The Kop-Ish community is continuing to grow, which is what we love. Shout out to everyone who's watched, shout out to everyone who's liked the video. If you haven't liked the video, please do like it. And shout out to everyone with all your comments and your opinions, like barring one or two, everyone's opinion is greatly appreciated here. We never disregard or crap on anyone's opinion, whether we agree or disagree. We'd always have a discussion. Rion, what happened to the merch? Soon. Soon. Very, very close. Kadir,
I nearly got the thing for a spoiler there.
I know. Not yet, Drifty. Not yet. You gotta wait a bit. Kadir Hussein, an interview with Cal's masseuse. Unfortunately, we're not doing interviews at the moment. We prefer to keep things private. And we would rather the public don't get involved in our situation. She's a great masseuse, and we'd like to keep it that way. So no interviews with my masseuse. No. She's the best at what she does, and we'll leave it there. But yes, until next time, people, I want to say a massive thank you. The reason I come to this channel is so often to broaden my knowledge and to hear what other fans feel is on their minds when they walk alone. Appreciate that. You guys help us broaden our knowledge as well. It's two-way street. I did get I can't remember who said it to me. I did get a DM today asking me not to do the Sean Dyche and FSG impressions because since we've been doing those, we've been losing matches. Like, I'll be honest, guys, I'm not the reason Liverpool are losing matches. Like, I took the blame when me and Hammers were doing watch-alongs. I can't take the blame for doing impressions and then Liverpool losing. That's not on me. I refuse to take blame anymore for Liverpool losing. That's not on me. That's on the owners, Klopp, and the players. That's not on me. Please don't make me the butt of that. But yes, people, massive thank you. Matt Drift, anything you want to say before we head off?
Let's just do this thing on Wednesday, innit? Let's try and get a dub, innit? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Good luck with that, bro.
Yeah.
Let me just ask a quick question. 20-second response and then we're out. Go and look at the fixture list. I'm sure most of you already know the fixture list anyway because we all look at it. Just quickly tell me which game Liverpool's going to win.
My answer is... That's my 20-second answer.
I looked at it, and the only reason we won't finish below 11th is because Leeds and the likes won't win enough games to. Comfortable 10th place position finish. Comfortable. When I say comfortable, I mean comfortable 10th place. It's mad. It's mad.
Thanks.
Please! Now!
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Yeah, thanks for ending on such a positive, Drift. Really appreciate that, bro. Thanks to everyone who watched as well. Thanks to Drift. Drink responsibly, people. That's what I will say. Drink responsibly.
Fully Tyrone Woodley out here. Fully.
My rib.
My ribs.
Guys, also just one last plug. If you haven't watched the James Pearce interview, do so, especially after the conversation we've had this evening regarding FSG, the ownership, etc. Great interview. James was brilliant. So yes, do go and check that video out as well. People, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kop-Ish and we're out, people. Take care.
We move.